Have you ever felt a bit off balance lately? Maybe you've seen those headlines screaming that the Earth's core has stopped spinning, or even worse, that it's spinning backward. It sounds like something straight out of a disaster movie, right? Pictures of volcanoes erupting, earthquakes shaking cities to the ground, and birds falling from the sky might be flashing through your mind. Is this the end? Are we all doomed? Well, take a deep breath. Today, we're going to dive deep literally into the heart of our planet and figure out what is really going on. Forget the panic and the clickbait. We're going to separate the science fiction from the scientific fact. So stick with me as we journey to the center of the Earth. First things first, let's get our layers straight. The Earth isn't just a big solid rock. It's more like a giant multi-layered candy. On the outside we have the crust, the thin layer we live on. Beneath that is the mantle, a thick gooey layer of molten rock. Then we get to the core, which is split into two parts, a liquid outer core and a solid inner core. This inner core is a scorching hot solid ball of mostly iron and nickel, about the size of Pluto. It's suspended in the liquid outer core, and it doesn't just sit there. It spins. This spin is incredibly important. The movement of the liquid outer core around the solid inner core is what generates Earth's magnetic field, our planet's invisible shield that protects us from harmful solar radiation. Without it, life as we know it couldn't exist. So, when scientists from Peking University published a study in Nature, Geoscience suggesting the inner core rotation had recently paused and might be reversing, it's no wonder the world paid attention. The media went wild with doomsday scenarios. But what did the scientists actually say? Let's unpack the paused part. The inner core doesn't spin in perfect sync with the rest of the planet. For decades, it was spinning slightly faster than the surface. Imagine you're on a merry-go-round and someone in the center is spinning just a tiny bit faster than you are. Over time, they'll lap you. That's what the inner core was doing relative to us on the crust. The new study suggests that around 2009, this extra speed slowed down. The inner core's rotation seemed to match the speed of the surface's rotation. From our perspective, it looked like it had paused. It didn't stop spinning altogether. That would be catastrophic. It just stopped spinning faster than us. Think of it like two cars on a highway. If you're going 61 miles per hour and the car next to you is going 60, you'll slowly pass it. If you slow down to 60, from your point of view, the other car has stopped moving relative to you, but you're both still hurtling down the highway. Now for the reversing part. The study proposes that after this pause, the inner core might have started spinning slightly slower than the surface. So from our viewpoint, it would appear to be moving backward. Again, it's all about relative motion. It's not like the entire planet's engine has been thrown into reverse. This whole idea isn't even brand new. Scientists have been debating the inner core spin for years. This is just the latest piece of a very complex puzzle. In fact, some scientists disagree with the pause and reverse theory altogether. Another study from the University of Southern California suggests that the changes are happening on a much shorter timescale, a cycle of about 6 years, not 70. They believe the inner core's rotation isn't reversing, but just oscillating back and forth. So, why are there different theories? Because we can't just drill a hole to the center of the Earth and take a look. It's thousands of miles deep with unimaginable pressure and heat. Instead, scientists act like planetary doctors, using seismic waves from earthquakes as a kind of ultrasound. When a big earthquake happens on one side of the planet, the waves travel through the Earth, including the core, and are picked up by sensors on the other side. By studying how these waves change as they pass through the inner core over decades, scientists can infer how it's spinning. It's just like trying to figure out the shape of an object in a dark room by only listening to the echoes it makes. The data is complicated and open to interpretation, which is why different teams can look at similar evidence and come to different conclusions. It's not a sign that science is broken. It's a sign that science is working. It's a process of debate, discovery, and refinement. So, what does this all mean for us up here on the surface? Should you be stocking up on canned goods? The answer is a resounding no. The scientists behind the study are very clear. These changes in the core of spin are part of a natural long-term cycle. They've likely been happening for millennia. The effects are incredibly subtle. We're talking about potential tiny variations in the length of a day on the scale of a few thousandths of a second. You wouldn't notice it. You can't feel it. Could it affect the magnetic field? Possibly over very long geological timescales. But again, these are not sudden, dramatic changes. The Earth's magnetic field is a dynamic system that waxes and wanes naturally. It even flips its poles every few 100,000 years. These core rotations are just one part of that massive, slow-moving engine. The truth is, while the headline "Earth's core stops spinning" is terrifyingly effective at getting clicks, it's also wildly misleading. The real story is far more fascinating and much less apocalyptic. It's a story of brilliant scientists using ingenious methods to peek into the heart of our own planet, uncovering the subtle rhythms and cycles that have been going on long before we were here and will continue long after we're gone. What we are witnessing is not a sign of the end times, but a beautiful example of a living, breathing planet in action. These shifts and cycles deep beneath our feet are part of the complex dance that makes Earth a habitable world. So, the next time you see a scary headline about our planet's core, remember what's really happening. It's not a disaster movie plot. It's a scientific mystery unfolding in super slow motion. And you can sleep soundly at night knowing that the ground beneath your feet is, for all intents and purposes, perfectly stable. The Earth will keep on spinning, and so will the core, just as it always has. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to the center of the Earth. If you enjoyed untangling this scientific mystery, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world around us. Let me know in the comments what other big science questions you'd like us to tackle next. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.